now. Before you're ever going to send out a message, we have to do step 4, and that is determine how you're going to measure success or failure of this campaign. I cannot stress enough how essential this step is. If you don't put measurements in place prior to launching a strategy or a campaign, then you're really never going to know if it worked or not. So, questions that we have to ask ourselves. What are we going to use to measure the campaign? Is it going to be coupon redemptions? Is it going to be responses? Is it going to be overall sales generated? Is it going to be opt-ins? There's a lot of different things that you can use to measure, but you have to know going in what it is you're going to measure. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. You may be measuring multiple things, but you need to know what those things are. And then second, what results would be success to you? What does that look like as far as what would be success? Is it 1,000 opt-ins? Is it 100 coupon redemptions? Is it 500 video views? Whatever it is, you need to know what would be success. Maybe you want that campaign to net $1,000 in sales. Whatever it is, make sure that you outline what success would be. And then, are the measurements specific enough that you can tell if it's working or not? So are the measurements specific enough that you know that it's attributed directly to this campaign or this strategy? Is it specific enough that it's not going to get woven in with everything else? And then last, you have to ask yourself, is the technology in place to measure this? And if not, how are you going to measure it? Sometimes people go really old-fashioned and take tallies based on sales or things like that. But technology is amazing. So make sure you have it in place. Again, don't get hooked into this myth that technology is going to solve everything, and don't spend hours and hours and hours researching how to measure it, but figure out what technology you're going to use to measure it. If you're using text messaging, we can easily in the reports figure out number of opt-ins, number of coupon views, number of coupons redeemed, those sorts of things. So you can get that pretty specifically, pretty easily. Again, if you're using something like Facebook, they have reports. Your email marketing has reports. So don't get too caught up in the technology, but know what technology you're going to use. And if there isn't a technology in place, what you're going to use to measure it. Because if you never measure a campaign, you're never going to know if it's successful or not. You're never going to know if you should do more of it or stop it. This is my favorite part. It's the part that I go kind of numbers crazy on, and I love it, but not everybody does. I get that. So just make sure that you are having those measurements in place. Again, what are you going to use to measure? What are those measurements that you want to know about? What does success look like? Are the measurements specific enough that you would know if it's successful or not? And what technology are you going to use to measure it? And if technology isn't available, then what are you going to do to measure it? Again, I'm going to say this every single time, and I know I sound like a broken record, but go download the step-by-step process in the links so you can start to really put together those measurements and know if this campaign is successful, having something to bounce it off of and compare it to. So that is all that there is in step 4, measuring our campaigns. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And I can't wait to get to the final step with you. But until next time, I'm Amanda Reed with Reed Mobile Marketing.